Hello?
Hi, Ozzy Dugulubgov, please.
Yes, it's me.
Oh, hi, Ozzy. This is Steve Jewin from MMA Mania calling you for the interview today.
Yes, Steve, what's going on?
Not a lot. Thanks for taking the time, and let's get right into it. You're going to be at Grapple at the Garden on pay-per-view, and you're facing Gray Maynard. So, first off, how are you feeling about the preparation going?
Everything is going well, you know. The wrestling is something that it's in our blood, so it's regular.
Yeah, and this is Greco-Roman wrestling. It's not striking like your World Series fighting bouts.
Oh, no. It's a different feeling, you know. Wrestling and fights is it's different mentality in it, but at the same time, the base of it is always the same, you know. Pushing forward, not giving up, and getting your win.
And it does have an MMA feel because it's Team Gracie versus Team Warren. You're one of 4 Gracie fighters going up against one of Joe Warren's 4 on this show. So it's still got that MMA appeal for people who don't follow traditional wrestling.
Yeah, somehow you can say that, but you know, because a lot of fighters are currently MMA fighters or like been MMA fighters, so it has 2 sides of it.
That's true. Now, take me back a little bit to your roots. I know you're from the North Caucasus region of Russia. I've read that you don't like to be referred to as Russian, so I'll dispel that right now. You're from the North Caucasus region, but how did you get into grappling at such a young age, and how did you end up coming over here and competing in World Series and grappling tournaments?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I don't like to be called Russian. It's just sometimes I like to tell people that we're a part of Russia, we come from Russia, but we're different people, and it's a different region that actually so many good wrestlers and so many good fighters currently that showing good results are coming from that area. So I've been in the sport almost all my life. My father is the one who put me on this path, and since then I never stopped.
When you speak of other good fighters coming from the area, would that be like Habib Nurmagomedov and Rustam Khabilov and guys like that?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
All right. Did you know those guys when you were still over there, or everybody just came over to the U.S. and became sensations here?
I never met them when I was there. We kind of lived in different states, but I met them over here. Actually, me and Rustam Khabilov, we were training together for some time when he was preparing for the Ben Henderson's fight. And you know, great guys, amazing guys, and watch for them. Keep your eyes on them.
Absolutely, and keep our eyes on you as well. You're 6-2 in your MMA career, and won almost all of your World Series fighting fights. So obviously, we're focusing on the Grapple at the Garden this Saturday. But what's up next for you in World Series fighting? When are they going to have you back for another fight?
I'm not sure yet. Probably I'm waiting for something to fight after January. So we'll see what comes, and with God's will, whatever comes in front of me, you know, I'm ready to face it.
And you've been talked about for a title shot in World Series fighting in the past. Is that something that you're still looking for? Is that on the table, or is it just like any fight is fine with you?
I mean, the thing is, for me, of course, the ultimate goal is to fight among the best, beat the best, and become the best. So, every step that we make is towards the top. So, everything is set for that goal.
And let's go back to the Grapple at the Garden. As part of Team Gracie, working with Renzo Gracie, you've got, your natural grappling skill from wrestling from birth, obviously is extended by working with a guy like Renzo Gracie. So talk to us a little bit about that and the techniques you picked up over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the mentality that I was put into it was, like, every art has its own beauty, and there's always a person who you can learn from, and especially at Renzo Gracie, there's always someone who you can learn from. John Danaher, Renzo Gracie himself, and all the other fighters themselves, so many black belts, and it's every day new experience, and doesn't matter what level you are in, there's always, you get in competition, and it's beautiful, and always new moves you learn, new styles, and what I really like in it is sometimes you're able to build your own style, the unique style that for yourself and people are helping you to do so.
What would you say was the most beautiful style that you learned when you started working with him? What stood out to you as the most beautiful new art that you hadn't seen before that you picked up on and fell in love with?
I don't know. That's a hard question to answer. I'm very passionate of everything that I learn, and I never can really pick like a one over the other one, because as much as I like my striking, I love my wrestling. As much as I love my wrestling, I love my jiu-jitsu. And it's like a very balanced feeling inside of me, so I never can pick like a something one.
That's fair. I mean, that's what makes for a well-rounded fighter after all, so I can't fault that. And you're going against a guy who was also very well-rounded in Gray Maynard. He's got a reputation as a guy who's got a lot of takedowns and a lot of wrestling ability, so it's a formidable challenge for you on Saturday.
Absolutely. I can't wait to face it. That's what makes me happy.
So clarify for me and for the people, when it's Greco-Roman rules, you're only scoring pinfalls, right? There's no submissions, there's no tapping out.
Yeah, it's a regular wrestling. There's no submissions will be involved. It's all about points and pinning your opponent. So let's see what we can make out of it.
It's a stacked lineup, too. There's other fighters that are from Team Gracie that are going to be involved. Scott Jorgensen facing Joe Warren, and Hollis Gracie facing King Mo. So what does it feel like to be on the card with all these other Renzo Gracie fighters at the same time?
It's always, like I said, it's a pleasure. It's an amazing experience to spend time with these people. They're all amazing people, and it's great, especially to compete in arenas such as Madison Garden, and it's a great experience. I'll be more than happy to be there and represent my team, represent my name, and represent my blood.
Will this be your first time being at Madison Square Garden?
Yes, I believe so.
Well, you've competed in a lot of arenas around the world, so I wanted to make sure. But what do you think of? What do you associate when you think of Madison Square Garden? What comes to mind first?
Of course, there's so many events, so many athletes who show their skills over there, and one of the things that really come on my mind that, hey, this is a great step, and it's kind of a responsibility, but not the responsibility that makes me feel nervous, but responsibility that gives me that energy boost, gives me that strength that if I'm there, if I'm stepping in that arena, that I have to show the best performance, and I have to be there at my max.
I'm sure you will be on Saturday, but let me ask you a question about Team Warren real quick, because Renzo Gracie doesn't necessarily talk a lot of trash. He's known for being a very calm and disciplined guy, and his training approach, I'm sure, is the same. But Joe Warren's kind of a loudmouth, so it's an interesting dynamic between the two of them as opposing coaches. What do you think of Joe Warren?
I don't think much of him. I don't know what to answer to this question. Honestly, I never thought about him.
Oh, that's fine. It's, he likes to proclaim himself the baddest man on the planet, so obviously
my thing is, I said this before one time when one of the fighters was trying to speak trash about me. What I say is, if you have lightning in your hand and God in your heart who gives you strength, you don't need the thunder in your mouth. So it's kind of explains everything that I need to say about that.
That's fair. Do you think that's a problem in MMA and grappling in general today? Is there just too many guys that are talking with their thunder in their mouth and not necessarily backing it up?
a lot of thunder. But it's just a noise.
Yeah, well, you don't have to worry about that because your record speaks for itself. So nobody will ever say that you're just thunder in the mouth because you've been proving it in and out of the cage on a regular basis.
Yeah, so we'll see.
All right, well, a couple of related questions and then we'll wrap it up. And you're focused, like I said, Grapple at the Garden this Saturday. That's got to be number one on your mind, and World Series fighting when they have you back for another fight after that. But your career ambitions, you probably want to go anywhere that'll get you the best fighters, the best fights, the best deals. So do you see yourself later on in your career in UFC or Bellator or anywhere like that?
Honestly, like I don't like to think so much about what's coming farther ahead. I'm just trying to always focus on my first next two steps, and it helps me stay focused. But because always things are changing, like I experienced in my life already. Like sometimes I would make a plan and I would think like, oh, this is it, this is what I want. But throughout my career, throughout my path, I would be changing my mind because of knowledge that I would learn or new things that I would see and what's not. So, I can't really say, oh, I wanna be in UFC or I wanna be in Bellator. Let's see what happens. That's my thing. Whatever day brings to me, I'm always trying to make the most of that day, and that day will define what's coming tomorrow. So, and everything is in God's hands. We only can plan so much, but the biggest planner is the God. So that's my mentality of it.
That's a good mentality to have. Looking back over your career so far, since you've had a lot of memorable fights and you're 6-2 overall, now, what would you say was your favorite out of those fights to date?
Probably my last fight because I had some great experience in that fight, and I had a great preparation for that fight as well. No injuries whatsoever, and throughout the fight, I came out and in the first 10 seconds or something like that, we collided with the head, and his head hit me pretty well, and I was knocked out. And the beauty of it, no one even noticed that, but me myself, like I was on the floor when I woke up, I was already holding this guy and my half guard, which went just automatically like as a muscle memory, or I don't know how that happened, and the feeling that I had to come back from that position and get the win back and not to lose my faith in my Lord, and it makes me feel that fight was such an amazing experience.
Oh, and it was amazing to watch too, because not only did you come back from that accidental headbutt, but in the third round you got the knockout. So it came full circle for you.
Yeah. Actually, it was beautiful. It was, thank God, amazing.
Indeed. So you're also, as I understand it, a legal guardian for your younger siblings who are living here in the United States. So talk to us about that, being not just a fighter, but also being a mentor to your younger siblings.
I mean, not much to talk about. Like sometimes I think like maybe because people here are not used to it but for us as we've been grown up, whoever is older in the family is responsible for his youngest, and it's something normal. And sometimes when I look at it, like I don't even see like it's something out of ordinary, but people, and they notice that young guy and already having these two siblings by him, it's a hard job, this and that, like maybe it is, but it's some type of responsibility that gives me a lot of strength to push harder and to stay focused on my path. So I love it, I enjoy it, and it's my family, it's my blood. Of course I'm going to keep them by me.
Like you said, it's motivation as well, because when you're doing well as a fighter, you're not just looking out for yourself, you're providing for them as well.
Absolutely. That's a big part of it.
In closing, I want to give you the chance to plug any sponsors and anything else you'd like to promote before I wrap it up. So please go ahead and mention anything you'd like.
Yeah, like always, I just would love to thank my team and Gracie and all my coaches who was helping me to get it better and who's putting their work in, and to all my teammates. Let's make 2015 the best year.
And speaking of the team, they'll be all supporting you at Grapple at the Garden. This is available on pay-per-view. It airs at noon Eastern, and it's a big card. I hope everybody checks it out. So, Ozzy, thank you very much for the time today, and continued success in your career going forward.
Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy your day. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Have a good day.